What's up guys, my name's Liam, and it's that time of the year again where I ask a bunch of different members of the community that are passionate about PC peripherals and PC gaming what their favorite gaming mice have been so far in the year 2025. In order for you to find the perfect gaming mouse for you, it really can vary based on a bunch of different varying factors like your hand size, grip style, or even your play style. And that is why I try and keep my videos mostly objective to try and give you as much information as I can about the product to help you decide if it's going to be something that works out for you. And I also always recommend watching as many reviews as possible about it before going and picking it up. So that is why I've asked so many people to be a part of this video. And as always, I will be leaving all their information down in the description below. And I do ask that you please go and check out their socials and give them a follow. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it. And we'll start out here with Elo Shapes. For their first pick, they went with the WL Mouse Beast X Pro. Reason being is because it is a great shape and it is a symmetrical mouse with a centered hump, which is their preference. A great addition that they added to it is it now has the option to come available with solid sides. It has amazing build quality, great switches, and the weight on this mouse makes it feel effortless to move around. For their second pick, they went with the Pulsar X2H Crazy Light Mini. A great shape for claw grip, and they like how it has a narrow front. Also has amazing build quality. The switches and coating on it feel great, and the weight is the best thing about this mouse. Also being able to move it around effortlessly. And lastly, for Elo Shapes, number one pick, they went with the Razer Death Adder V4 Pro, which is a very comfortable shape, one of the very few mice that they can comfortably palm grip. The performance on it is incredible. The build quality, switches, scroll, and coating all feel amazing. It also has a low weight for its size and shape. And overall, they feel like it's the best mouse, even though other shapes might fit them better. So thank you so much to Elo Shapes for keeping up on the website and doing such a great job. Now, to stick with the tradition of all these videos, let's go ahead and kick things off with Jakeu.
What's up, my fellow aim-adapt enjoyers? My name is Jake, aka Jakeu. If you're at all into the peripheral enthusiast space, you've probably heard about me by now. But if not, you can find me anywhere as Jakeu FPS. And for my top 3 this year, I'm trying to go for a bit more of an objective opinion. And on spot number 3, I'm gonna go for the Hitscan Hyperlight. This is still definitely a very relevant mouse. The build quality is still insanely solid. It is a small to medium sized mouse with a center hump, so it's viable for all types of grip styles. It comes with 100% PTFE skates, and you would have to buy the 8K dongle separately if you do want high polling. But Hitscan are definitely a brand to watch out for next year as well. Depending on where you're buying it from, it comes in around $90 to $100, and compared to some flagship mice out there, this is definitely one heck of a steal. And on my spot number 2, we have a mouse that is even more of a steal. At a similar size as the Viper V3 Pro, with the latest Nordic implementation inside of the mouse and the receiver itself as well, a grippy coating, great build quality, 100% PTFE skates, $39.50, all the bells and whistles at around $85 US. There's simply no reason to get a Viper V3 Pro over this. It is truly a very safe shape. It is super enjoyable, and if you have medium to large size hands, let's say 19 by 10 or above, I can definitely recommend this thing. The only thing I don't personally fully love about it is that the side buttons are a bit forward, and the lift-off distance at the highest setting is a bit low, but that's all. And on my number 1 spot is the absolute GOAT of this year and also the end of last year, the MCHOS L7. This thing starts at $35 US depending on what type of sensor you want to get. It is almost an exact X2 mini clone, with it being actually a bit longer and overall a tiny bit bigger and more comfortable to use for me personally, especially with my 19 by 10 hands. The absolute only thing I don't fully love about this mouse are these skates, which are black and dyed, but you can get unusual Waysport skates for $5 over on AliExpress. The click feel is exceptional, the coating is really good unless you have super sweaty hands. The build quality is great, it comes in at around 40 grams, and if you get the Pro version or above, you can even do dual 8K, so you could take out the battery like I have, get it around 35 grams, plug it in, and use it with 2K wired. If you have 19 by 10 centimeter hands or below and you do a claw grip or a fingertip grip, this is pretty much the only thing you'll ever need. But that's it for me, guys. Let's see what the next guy has to say.
What's up guys, it's BD here, and these are my personal top 3 mice of 2025. First up is a mouse we've been begging Logitech for. For years, people have wanted different sizes of the Superlight lineup, and we finally got it with the Superlight X2C. It takes that classic shape, shrinks it down into a small but formidable package. The light force switches on this mouse feel a bit different than on the original Superlight 2. I love that the weight dropped down to 51 grams, the build quality feels great, and it has been a staple in my collection since it came out. Now, the second mouse on my list isn't the lightest or the most technically advanced, but the shape. One of the best claw grip shapes on the entire market, and that is the Zowie S2DW Glossy White. We almost never see glossy finishes anymore, so right away it stands out. The wide big hump combined with the concave size gives a ton of control. Yeah, it's a little bit heavy at 65 grams, but I aim so consistently because of the control factor with this mouse. Now, last but not least, when it comes to ergonomic mice, it doesn't get better than the DatZtrazak V4 Pro. This thing is stupid comfortable. Razer's new optical switches are lighter and crispier, and they're getting dangerously close to perfection now. The weight hits a sweet spot of 56 grams, the sensor's top tier, the battery life of 150 hours is insane. There's just a lot to say about the DatZtrazak V4 Pro, and in my opinion, it was the best mouse to come out and drop this year. So that is gonna do it for my top 3. Thanks again, Liam, for having me on here. You can find me on YouTube here at Brandon Taylor, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Hi, this is GameGeek. I'm a Japanese gaming gear reviewer. I usually make content in Japanese, but here I am. Thanks Liam for inviting me to the video. You can find me on YouTube by typing GameGeek JP, and I'm also active on X. So here's my top 3 mice of 2025. My first pick is the Razer DatZtrazak V4 Pro. It's the latest model of iconic legendary DatZtrazak. The coating feels great, and I mean really great. Optical skull wheel is flawless, and the weight is about 56 grams. I have different skate on it, but it's about 5 grams lighter than the previous model. The sensor is excellent as always. The switches are sharp. Basically, all the good stuff is packed in here. Even the little dome dongle looks cute. The price is on the higher side, but overall, it's a great mouse. My second pick would be the Ninjutsu 10 Air. The shape has a unique touch to it. It's sturdy and performs really well. The Air model is as light as 45 grams, while the regular 10 is about 54 grams. So you can choose based on battery life. Shape is good, but the clicks are incredible. There's a tiny tension system built in that applies a bit of downward pressure to eliminate pre-travel, and it works like a charm. Super snappy clicks, really well done. The dongle looks a bit strange, but you know, no big deal. And my last pick is the Orbital Pathfinder. It's a truly unique mouse built around a full module design. You can dial in a shape that fits your hand perfectly. Even with all parts attached, it stays pretty light. The switch section is well designed, and the build quality feels solid. So yeah, there's a lot to praise, but since it's full modular, wear and tear isn't zero, so long-term durability might be a concern. Still, anyone who values the customization, this mouse will be absolute hit. Alright, that's a wrap from me. Enjoy the rest of the video. Peace.
Hey guys, my name is Pistaciio, and these are my top 3 mice of 2025. In the third place is going to be the brand new Razer DatZtrazak V4 Pro. It is a refresh of the V3 Pro Ego, but also not the exact same mouse. It has the exact same shape, but it also leaped way ahead in terms of the performance, battery life, and also power optimizations. Some internals have also gotten a very good spec bump, of which the most notable has been the switches. They've been pretty controversial in the space in terms of people's tastes in its sound and feel, but as a whole this product is insanely good, and Razer really impressed me this year with what they were able to achieve. Second is a mouse that I feel everyone just needs in their rotation. It is the Orbital Pathfinder. It took an already existing idea being a modular mouse and just cranked it up to 11. The amount of customization here is insane. You get a massive kit with different swappable sides, spaces, and hump designs. The team even made the mounting design open source so people can design their own 3D models and print them to experiment even further with potential mouse shapes, all while still having very good specs. But my first place does go to G-Wolves. They've been way ahead in terms of innovation and just taking crazy risks to further possibilities for the mouse scene. We've had very interesting and very exciting shapes in the last 2 years, and crazy enough, I was maining the latest VOOC since having it. But wow, the new HTM Plus just easily takes my number 1.
I've legit had this mouse for just a few days and I've performed the best with it out of any other mouse I've had this year. It has a long shape with slightly flatter sides, giving a lot of people space to grip, a very low and very forward aim position for the sensor, which sits so perfectly between where I grip. It has the top of the line specs and a very lightweight at just 33 grams. Now my only gripes with Dewolf's mice will always be the lack of a coating and also the honeycomb divots. If we could have a normal, solid, full shell, that'd be so sick. But in general for larger handed users but also longer and narrower ones, this is exactly what I was looking for. Thanks again to Liam for the invite, and if you want to keep up with me, you can follow me on Twitter at Pistaciio. Take care and peace.
Hi everyone, my name is Oli. I run a YouTube channel called Olicheck Gaming Tech where I cover gaming peripherals. So first, big thanks to Liam for having me again for the third time in this end of year collab. It's always a pleasure. So I was asked about my top 3 gaming mice of 2025. My main mouse is still the Pulsar Feynman from 2024, and honestly 2025 wasn't the most exciting year for new releases. But I still have 3 gaming mice from this year that stayed on my desk. So here they are in no particular order. First, the Vexy XE V2. I've always liked this shape, and now with the lighter weight and great coating it makes it feel amazing. Great weight balance and very comfortable. It's a real pleasure to use. Next, the XM2 4K V2 from Endgame Gear. The changes from the V1 are small, just a sensor upgrade, but for me it's still the best claw grip shape ever made. The V1 was already in my rotation and now I just swap it for the V2. Build quality and coating are still the best. And finally, the Vexy NP01S Ergo. This one really surprised me. A small hump added at the back completely changed the feel, in a good way. For me, it's a huge improvement to the standard NP01S and it's probably my favorite release this year. So, those are my 3 favorite gaming mice of 2025. I hope you enjoy. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Yo, thank you so much for inviting me back, AimAdapt. This is my top 3 mice of 2025. And if you guys seen the other 2 top 3 mice, mine hasn't changed that much. But first, I wanted to give an honorable mention to one of the best budget mice of the year. That is the Mchos L7. This mouse is incredible when it comes to price to performance, as it only costs around $37 for the base model and $47 for the $39.50 super lightweight version. It is by far the best price to performance mouse, and it's up there with some of my favorite mice, but it did not scratch the top 3. In the number 3 spot is going to be the Corsair Saber V2 Pro. This is a new mouse from Corsair and is really good in my opinion at around 36 grams. It is incredibly lightweight and it has a very nice comfortable shape. It is said to be a clone of the Daru A390, I believe it is, but it is an incredible shape in my opinion. And if you just wanted to go into your store and pick up a mouse, this is the one. And similar to last year, the Hitscan Hyperlight makes it back into my top 3 again, as it's just a shape I keep pulling out. It is incredibly comfortable, incredibly lightweight at around 39 grams, and with Silver Fox dots, it's closer to around 38 to 37. It's just a tried and true mouse, and if you can pick one up, it is easily my favorite of all time. And finally, as you guys see behind me, I actually have 3 of them. This is the X2 Crazy Light and the X2 V2 and the X2 Mini. All of them are the same shape, but the X2 Mini is still my number 1 shape. I do not think the X2 Mini will get beat, and it's been my endgame mouse for around the last year and a half, ever since the Fantech Helios 2. But thank you so much for inviting me to this video. That should be my take on it. I love the X2 Crazy Light, and I recommend it to everybody, even if it doesn't fit your hands. It is incredible. But if you want to pick something up similar, the L7 is a great mouse at half the price and very similar performance with AK wired and wireless. Well, that's my 2 cents. On to the next person.
Hey guys, this is Young and I go by the theillmeister on socials. Big thanks to Liam for asking me to be a part of his 2025 mice release video, so big shout out, thank you. First on the list is the Orbital Works Pathfinder. You have to give credit where credit is due, and the small team behind this modular mouse project is oozing with passion and genuine investment into the community. an endless possibility of shapes and configs, new creations from the community all the time, at 3950, 8K, crisp Omron opticals, some really beautiful translucent shell colors. I'm still very excited to see the next steps for not only the Pathfinder project, but even more so, see if the Orbital team can apply their philosophy they poured into this mouse into other areas of gaming peripherals and accessories. Second on my list is a project people were sure would never actually arrive, the REA RCC-1. Hands down the coolest looking mouse to have graced my desktop. It offers what I'd consider a hyper-aggressive feel for claw grippers, with an arrow-like shape that offers a truly locked-in feel with just the right amount and placement of curvature on the sides. A really fantastic feel on the coating. 8K, 3950, Omron opticals, 46 grams. This is a mouse I just love owning, using, and looking at. Finally, the ROM Leviathan V4 caps my list. ROM is a company I've loved seeing progress into making a name for themselves within the scene. The level of quality and improvements they've made within the past year alone is highly respectable, and this V3 inspired release is the pinnacle of what they've been working towards. Great coating, nice skates, custom tuned TTC optical V2s that are super tactile and offer more oomph than the Omrons, a slightly hollow but well notched and implemented scroll, rock solid build quality, and software features that offer more customizability and functionality than almost any other I've seen. The brand is headed towards much bigger things. I'm wishing everyone a happy end of 2025 and the best in 2026.
My name is Robbie, and I am the creator behind the channel Evertech Reviews. This is my top 3 gaming mice of 2025. My first place choice is probably going to be a bit contentious, so you will have to let me know what you think in the comments. In third place for the year, I picked the DeathAdder V4 Pro. This is the same great shape as the V3 Pro, and the improvements Razer made here are really great. The new coating, updated skate design, improved battery, and the optical scroll all make this mouse a top-tier ergonomic mouse. The only critique that I had in my review is that the sound that Mouse 1 and 2 makes is quite obnoxious, and it's very pingy, which I personally found annoying. But if that doesn't bother you, this thing is amazing. Now, number 2 on my list is the new Pulsar X2 Crazy Light. The original Crazy Light that came out at the beginning of the year was a bit too small for me, but now that there is a size medium version, well, I've been putting a lot of time in on this mouse, and the click implementation is perfect. The scroll wheel is the best out of any mouse in my collection, and the coating feels really, really good. The big selling point here is the reduced weight, coming in at just 40 grams. Now, I am not a big believer that smaller mice necessarily make you aim better. I do, however, believe that lighter mice are advantageous, especially when tracking. This mouse executes on everything perfectly, and it could be my main if it wasn't for my mouse of the year, the Final Mouse ULX Sakura. Yes, probably a bit contentious, and I know Final Mouse has its issues, but this is just a shape that works so well for me. The mouse is the least perfect one on my list, but at the end of the day, it is my favorite to use. The weight balance, the feeling of Mouse 1 and 2, and the shape overall feels like it was made specifically for my hand. The scroll wheel does feel a bit like cheap plastic, and there's always the issue that Final Mouse relies on FOMO releases, but out of the mice that I've picked up this year, this one stands out as my absolute favorite to play with. The ULX competition has actually replaced my Viper V3 Pro, and I think that says something about how much I like this mouse. So that's my list. Big thanks to AimAdept for inviting me to collab here. My name is Robbie with Evertech, and I'll catch you in the next one.
When I think best mouse of 2024, there's an answer that instantly comes to mind. It's the Hitscan Hyperlight. This mouse moved the whole market forward by so much. It was just a complete package that sort of forced everybody else to keep up. It's a mouse that I've recommended to people dozens of times, and one that Viscos and I have bought for like 5 or 6 people at this point. But best mouse of 2025, I can't really think of a mouse like that. Mice like the Pulsar Crazy Lights, the NPO1S V2, everything released by G-Wolves, and of course the flagship releases this year, they're all worthy of being on people's lists. But in terms of mice that have really moved the market, there's not a lot. So for my 3 picks, I want to showcase the mice that I think got the closest to doing that. First is the HTX Mini. G-Wolves is still somehow so far ahead of everybody else in terms of weight optimization, But when this thing came out, a full-ish size mouse that was 27 grams, it was beating the popular options by like 50%. But weight aside, this mouse is in a niche only occupied by one other mouse. Something that's in between fingertip and small full-size mice. It's a niche that I imagine we'll start to see more adventurous brands try their hand out in 2026, but this one was a really strong start. It's also the first mouse, along with the HCS Ultra, that experimented with placing the sensor as far forward as possible, which I kinda like, but between that, its relative width, and the pretty high price, does make it hard to recommend. Still though, this is easily in my top 3 mice of all time. My second one would be the Zero Mouse Blade. Now, I hate this mouse. I can't use it at all, and it's so divisive and expensive that I ended up putting it in C tier on my fingertip mouse tier list. But to say that this mouse has been influential is a huge understatement. The DIY side of mice has completely transformed in the past year. You can't scroll more than a second on 3D printing sites without finding a mouse design that at least borrows elements from the Zero Mouse, if not flat out clones it. And I wouldn't be surprised if the interest in his video series has played a role in getting mainstream brands to start trying fingertip mice too. This was really the first year that a lot of them did. And lastly, I think the biggest movement we saw in 2025 was with Chinese mice. In prior years, they had been really hard to recommend, with nearly all of them having some kind of very obvious drawback for the price. But there have been mountains of Chinese mice that came out this year. And when people ask for mice on a budget, I've actually started to recommend some of these mice. While the mice from Mchos, ATK, or RawM are probably obvious picks as just like really solid, safe mice, I think the mouse that shifted my opinion on this niche the most was the Kaisona Uranus. It's inspired by my favorite ergo shape of all time, and it absolutely destroys all of the modern variants of that shape. And despite being under $40, I can't really find the flaw. Sure, it's no OP18K in terms of performance, but it's not that far off, and it has everything else you'd expect from a more premium mouse. So yeah, while there's a ton of really bad mice in this niche, the best ones have finally started closing the gap on more premium options, and it's not just OEM either. There are brands that have pushed niches further than any well-known brand, and I expect that we'll see more strange and interesting stuff next year too. And to close, while I haven't tried a ton of these myself, here's the favorites from a friend of mine who's tried basically all of them. So yeah.
Hi guys, I'm Jerrorr and I've been making videos about gaming peripherals for around 3.5 years here on YouTube on my channel Jerrorr. For me, what matters most on gaming mice is firstly the shape, then the build quality, then the coding and clicks, and then the weight and the wireless performance. Let's start with my absolute favorite for this year, the Vaxi NPO1S version 2. This mouse was pretty much the first one that launched this year, and it is a shape that I've been using for a really long time now, starting with the wired version. Pretty much everything just comes together for me with this mouse. The shape is very good for my claw grip, the coding is insanely good, the mouse is built like a tank, and I just absolutely love this mouse. My second pick is the new Zowie U2 DW Glossy White version or the Matte Black, either one is super good. This shape just really surprised me when I first tried it with their shape fitting kit a while back. It is pretty much an aggressive claw grip shape that has a very interesting, super deep thumb groove below the side buttons, and it just offers a very locked in grip for me. But yeah, if you claw grip, the U2 is a shape you definitely should try at some point. Then my third favorite might surprise some, and it is the Pulsar X2F. I currently only have the beta version, but I have the real one on my way. Earlier this year I set out to learn fingertip gripping, and the mouse I stuck at that time was the X2F beta, and it just surprised me how easy it was to adjust to. I then have tried other fingertip grip mice like the new offerings from Jewels, and I absolutely love them also, but for some reason the X2F is the most stable one for me, and every time I pick it up I just seem to perform very well on it. This is also the only fingertip mouse I have no trouble using the side buttons or scroll wheel to their full potential, which are very crucial in Apex Legends for me. Yes, the weight is quite a bit higher than on those other fingertip grip mice, but compared to the other two top mice that I've been using a lot this year, this feels very lightweight to me, and I really have no trouble with the weight it has, and it is also built like a tank. But yeah, these were the top 3 mice that I've been enjoying using the most this year. Thanks for having me, Liam.
Hey guys, it's Dazztrazak, back with my top 3 mice of 2025. You might know me for reviewing way too many budget mice, or as the GPS clone guy. Shout out Evertech, one of my favorite videos of the year. You can follow me on all platforms, including X at Dazztrazak, and I co-host the Mousecast podcast weekly with Phalanges. 2 quick honorable mentions: VGN F2, great scroll wheel, great clicks, like a larger Jewels HDX, OP1AK V2, my main forever, even wired, absolutely love it. It's narrow, you get to aim like you have the precision of a pencil. Egg is the go, down on my top 3. So this is very challenging for me. I tested so many mice this year, the selection was huge. This here is the Incot 039. This is my top personal favorite mouse of the year. I used this a ton in Battlefield 6 and it was very comfortable. It's like a taller Viper V2 Pro. It's like a Viper V3 Pro with more flare and taper. It has their new Incot switches, very spammable, really cool colorways and styles you can see here on the scroll wheel. Stock skates are great, side buttons are large, and overall this mouse just is super comfortable to be in game. Next up we have, just kidding, this was a complete diversion. It's actually my top surprise of 2025, the Epomaker Carbon X. This is the most satisfying mouse to the touch I have ever used. Something about the way they did the coating on this carbon fiber shell is just, I want to use this mouse all day long. And that's also in no small part to the Omron opticals in the switches. They feel so crisp, so spammable, second only to maybe the Maya X. I will say it's a bit front heavy. These back holes are huge, but in my hand it does not bother me at all. It's got awesome side buttons that protrude nicely, and even though it's black, which I often hate on those, it's honestly not a problem for me. This mouse looks slick, feels great, and was my biggest surprise of the year. And last and definitely not least, in fact, it's number 1. This is my top mouse of 2025 and also the best budget mouse I've ever tested. It is the Mchos L7 Ultra Plus. There's an L7 that's an X2 mini clone. This is the L7 Ultra Plus. It's like a Soar V2. It has great stock skates. It has the best QC on a budget mouse. Absolutely awesome Mchos coating. Still had their Omron opticals before they switched to the mechanicals, and they feel tactile but still light. And honestly, straight up, if I were to have someone come into the mouse seat and you want average size hand, the best mouse you can get, this is like $50. Grab the Mchos L7 Ultra Plus. You won't be disappointed. This has been my top 3 gaming mice with superlatives of 2025.
Hey everyone, I'm Sicko. I am a product photographer and I review gaming mice, keyboards, and mouse pads. You can find me mainly on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Sicko, S1CKOX. And now for my top 3 mice of 2025. Number 1 would be the Airy Gears RCC1. This mouse surprised me the most this year. The shape is insanely comfortable, the performance is reliable, and it feels like a strong debut for Airy Gears. Once they move the main clicks to mechanical switches, I believe the RCC1 will be even better. My number 2 would be the OP1 8K wired. The biggest reason why this mouse made my list is the shape. It has one of the most dialed-in shapes of all time, with a size and weight that feels almost custom-tailored for competitive play. It sits in the hand in a way that encourages precise micro-adjustments without fatigue. It's simply a spectacular combination of form and balance. And my number 3, last but not the least, is the Beast X Mini Pro. It is a refined ambidextrous mouse with excellent control and an ultra lightweight. Crisp clicks, smooth tracking, and perfect for FPS games, and for me personally, because I enjoy small mice. It has been one of the most enjoyable mice I've used this year, and this will continue to be on my rotation for the foreseeable future. So, huge thanks to Liam for inviting me to be part of this video. It's been a dream of mine to be a part of it, so I appreciate the chance to contribute. Laters.
Hello Liam and DatBoyGuru viewers, thank you for having me. I'm Migss. You can find me on YouTube, youtube.com/MIGSS, and my other socials are also there. You might know me from my magnetic keyboard reviews and my gaming peripheral reviews. But yeah, in this video, we're going to be talking about my top 3 gaming mice released in 2025. And the reasons why I chose these mice are based on my personal experiences, opinions, priorities, and preferences. We all have different ones, so it's okay if you don't agree. But my main priorities are shape, weight, performance, and price for value. And I mean, most of the gaming mice recently are incredibly fast already, so it's mainly gonna be the other 3. Anyways, these are in no particular order, but one of the mice I picked was the G-Wolves HTS Ultra. For my hand size and grip, its shape is amazing, and my most favorite part is definitely the weight. It's the lightest full-sized gaming mouse I've ever tried. It feels so light aiming with the mouse. Starting the mouse was very easy, and as well as stopping it, because again, it's lightweight. So yeah, that's definitely one. And then the other one is the Mchos K7 Ultra. Now this one isn't very lightweight, but where it shines is the price for value. It's a great budget option mention. The shape is pretty much a Razer Viper V3 Pro, which I really like the shape of. Performance and quality is very impressive, especially for the price, and I really like that it comes in with a wireless charging dock. And the last mice on my top 3 is the Unius Black Lotus. It's known to have a not very good coating, it's not really grippy, but I do use grip tapes a lot, so not really an issue for me. But yeah, I think the biggest reason why it made the cut is because of the shape. I really liked it. My favorite shape. It has a very similar shape to the OP1. It's just so good for my hand size and grip, and it also is very lightweight, so I really like that. And yeah, those are really my top 3 picks. I hope that helped.
Hey guys, my name is Averith and I am a peripheral reviewer on Twitter. I post on there mainly, but I also do Reddit, YouTube, Instagram, and sometimes TikTok. I'm here to talk about my top 3 mice of 2025, given the opportunity to by Liam, and I just want to say thank you so much for giving me the chance to speak about them. So let's go ahead and get started. First and foremost, I would love to talk about the Razer DeathAdder V4 Pro. It is my favorite ergonomic shape, especially since I started off with the DeathAdder V3. I enjoy this mouse a lot because mainly of the battery life. I could play for about a week without having to really think about charging, especially even on 2K polling. So I don't know what they did with the software or whatever it is that they did, but it is fantastic. My second choice would have to be the Ninja 210. I mainly like this mouse because it's a more mild GPX. The mouse slopes down a little more aggressively compared to the GPX, and the hump isn't as pronounced whenever I grip it, and that was one of my biggest gripes of the GPX, is that hump kind of makes it a little uncomfortable to hold sometimes, but this mouse is like a good balance on that. Last but not least, it is the Polestar Susanto X. This is my favorite small to medium sized mouse of 2025, mainly because of the way it performs for me. It is a very comfortable and safe shape to hold. It has a tapered sides so that you can lock your fingers in. It's really great for fingertip and claw, which is what I mainly use for this mouse specifically. And if I really wanted to aggressive claw, it's a nice rounded back for me to rest my palm on. Any of these mice interest you, definitely go pick them up. I highly recommend any of these. I want to go ahead and say another thank you to Liam for giving me the opportunity to talk about this. Excited to see what everybody else thinks of their top 3 mice of 2025. With that, I'll see you guys later.
Hey guys, it's Charlie here from papacharliegames. Hope everybody's having a wonderful holiday season, getting to spend some time with some loved ones. Huge thanks to Liam AimAdapt for including me in this video. Just gonna go over some of my favorite mice that came out in 2025. I think the first one for me is going to be the Orbital Pathfinder. This is just such an innovative mouse. You get a mouse that you're able to kind of customize to your liking for $180. I think it's such a good deal. You're able to get creative with it. Apart from that, the team is just so great. They've been there through it all. If you have any issues, you can always reach out to them on Discord. They're more than happy to help. They're constantly dropping new stuff. They recently dropped this new colorway, which is a teal colorway, which I think looks amazing. So just based on innovation, I think the Orbital Pathfinder is going to be one of my top 3 mice of 2025. My second favorite mice is going to be the Fenrir Sim. This is a fingertip mouse. If you don't normally use fingertip mice and you want to get into it, I think this is definitely one of the best options to get you into it. The shape, it just fits so well. It's really well. I tried, the Fenrir Max. I tried the WL Mouse Meow. I tried the X2F. The X2F is also pretty solid, but I think in general, the Fenrir Sim, the build quality overall, and the shape is definitely easy to get used to. Overall, I think this is definitely going to be my second favorite mouse of 2025. Now, I do have 2 more mice here, but I think my favorite mouse of 2025 is going to have to be the ATK Duckbill. This shape, ATK did with this mouse just fits perfectly in my hands. The build quality overall is pretty solid. Performance on it is good. It's not perfect, obviously. There is some minor things. I do wish it had better side buttons, but overall, I think this is my favorite shape and my favorite mouse of 2025. I'm gonna do an honorable mention to the Polestar X2 Crazy Light. This is just a solid mouse. This is one of the best gaming mouse that came out in 2025, hands down. It's definitely a solid mouse. But yeah, those are my top 4 gaming mice of 2025. Huge thanks to Liam for including me in this video. Hope everybody has a great day. Hope everybody has a great holidays. Take care. See you on the next one.
Top 3 mice of 2025. My name is LT with Two Dudes Gaming, and today I have the distinct honor of being asked my personal opinion by Liam what I think the top 3 mice of 2025 is. Now, I'm going to start out saying I did not get to try every mouse that I wanted to this year. As an example, the Orbital Pathfinder or the ARYE. Those are 2 mice that I still plan on trying to get my hands on at some point. Now, going forward, these are 3 mice that have unique things that I really enjoyed, and I just have nothing negative to say about any of the 3, but they are in no particular order as far as best to worst or anything like that. So, first and foremost, we're going to talk about the Ponage Trinity. Beautiful mouse. I love the silver. I love just the absolute attention to detail on this thing. Really awesome. Mine has perfect QC, great clicks. I just got nothing negative to say. But two things that they did that I wish more companies all the way across the board would start doing. The completely flat base, it just opens skate options to a whole new realm. Really, really love that. But the one thing that just really tops it on this mouse is the sensor. Having the adjustable sensor on this is awesome. I'm more of a claw hybrid user, so I tend to grip my mice heavy at the front, which means I really enjoy that forward sensor placement. It really works for me. But this mouse, it just has so many options as far as grips, and I think they just really thought all the way through on this mouse. Now, going to the next one is probably my most used mouse this year. Definitely the mouse that I my go-to if I'm coming off of the OP1 or the MZ1, and that is the Akitsu. They just really did a good job. I feel like they kind of followed a lot of attention. They paid attention to the community, and it shows. This mouse has a really awesome ambi shape and just truly all the way through. It is gorgeous. The attention to detail on this thing is amazing. The weight is great. Being carbon fiber, just awesome. This is the medium. I have not got to try the small, but nothing negative to say about this mouse in any way. Just awesome, awesome mouse. Now, last but not least, this is the mouse that probably surprised me the most this year. And it as far as the mouse that surprised me the most, it really came down to the decks in this. And I had to go to this. The Asus Harp Ace 2. This thing really surprised me. I didn't really have a whole lot of expectation with it. And man, it blew me away. One, this shape, if I had to try to give you all a description of the shape, it's like you took an ambi and an ergo and kind of mashed them together. Like it just, the curvature on it is beautiful, and just, I really think they nailed it. It is solid all the way. The performance is amazing on it. Yeah, I've just gotten, I can't find a negative to this mouse. It is just a really awesome mouse, and yeah, I think the shape is what makes this mouse. If you have larger hands, it is very easy to palm this mouse. But if you're a hybrid where you tend to go between palm and claw, man, awesome mouse, seriously, especially for larger hands. But yeah, so that was my top three, and again, thank you, Liam, for asking my opinion. I really, really appreciate that, and I hope this helps somebody with either their next choice or maybe just a difference in opinion, a little food for thought. So anyways, y'all have a great day.
Hey guys, I'm a peripheral reviewer. I go by SPEC. I want to thank AimAdapt for inviting me to be part of this top 3 Mice of the Year video. You can find my channel. I'll leave a pop-up for it. And let me get into my top 3 Mice of the Year. So at number 3, we have the Vaxi XEV2. I really love this mouse because the weight and weight balancing is really solid. It is 59 grams, but it just feels really solid, and it has a nice center hump shape. This shape is great for claw and palm, and overall just has really good build quality. This is like one of the safest mice you can buy if you have medium or large hands. All right, at my number 2 spot, I have the Vaxi X Ninjutsu Sora 4K. This mouse did technically come out in November of 2024, but it is my most used mouse of the year, so I did feel like it deserved to be on this list. It also has a weight of 59 grams and great weight balancing. It also has a more towards the back hump. This shape is great for aggressive claw and regular claw. You can technically use it for palm, but I wouldn't recommend it. The build quality is fantastic, 0 issues, but the click implementation is one of the best I've tried. The same thing with the XEV2. Overall, both the Sora and XEV2 are 2 of the best built mice I've ever tried, and just overall easy picks. And at my number 1 spot, I have the Pulsar X2H Mini CL. I cannot get off this mouse. It is only 40 grams and feels like nothing. The coating is also really good and rubbery. The build quality is super improved from the previous Pulsar mice, especially the original X2 Crazy Light. And this shape is really good for people using claw and aggressive claw. The hump really makes you push your fingers forward to the top, but not to the edges, so it can really fit bigger hands than just small, and it's a really great mouse for people of all hand shapes. I cannot recommend this mouse enough.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm DatBoyGuru. I'm on YouTube, Twitter, and Reddit. Here's my top 3 mice in no particular order. The Inca shape is inspired by the Zowie ZA13. The ZA13 triggers are part of the outer shell in a unibody design, while on the Inca the triggers are in separate pieces, as you can see. This shape even inspired Tens to make his own version with Pulsar. Now for my larger hand, I can still fingertip or claw this shape, but if you have a small hand, this could even be a palm grip type of mouse for you. Now here's the real difference that matters. The ZA13 is 65 grams, the Inca is 42 grams, and that's a 23 gram difference, and it's just a better choice. The 10 Air are Ninjutsu's best mouse to date. The 10 Air is a new original shape, but there's still some familiarity in the design compared to a GPX, of course. It almost feels like half a size, maybe smaller by 3% than a GPX Superlight, if I had to guess. It's got switches that trigger much faster than conventional switches because it's got this mechanism where instead of trying to make contact to initiate the triggers, these triggers actually initiate when the triggers separate. So that's supposed to translate to lower latency and quicker response. Also, they've made the outer coating really grippy. White color is better, it hides the smudges, unlike the black one. While the stock skates are fine, don't even worry about it. Lastly, the VOOC dual sensor 36 gram mouse. This brand is truly thinking outside the box. They are constantly evolving and producing new shapes, new technologies, new designs. Not all of them are great, but you have to respect a brand that's truly hustling. There's no measurable performance difference between using the top sensor or the regular sensor positions. It's a bust for the experiment, but hey, at least now we know. Once again, the same reason I like the other mice. It's the shape, the click feel, and the lightweight.
Alright guys, so that about wraps things up on this video. Since it's been so long, I'm going to keep this short. I didn't share any of my own opinions because I will be releasing videos at a later time talking about all my favorite releases of the year. But thank you to every single person that has participated this year. Please go and give them a follow, as I already mentioned before. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.